Welcome to yet another episode of Sitecore Tech Talks. On today's episode, we again have Girish Jain. So I'm sure many of you know Girish. He's been a Sitecore platform specialist here at Horizontal from last 1 year, and before that he was exploring various industries. And as a part of his journey in last 1 year, he has looked at a number of Content Hub solutions from an implementation standpoint. And last time he was here explaining and giving details about the PCM module, and today he is going to share his knowledge on the MRM module of Sitecore Content Hub. So let's see what Girish has to say. Girish, first of all, thank you for again coming over on Sitecore Tech Talks, and I would also like to thank you for kind of a blockbuster episode on Sitecore Tech Talks. The last time we had PCM.
Thank you for having me on Tech Talks. It's always exciting to share your knowledge so that it helps the broader community on your knowledge. So the knowledge acquired is of no use unless you share it.
Absolutely. I like your thought process there, and I completely agree with it. Well, let's just jump into it. So, what is the MRM module and how does it kind of fit into the Sitecore Content Hub ecosystem?
Yeah, so I'll just start with the abbreviation MRM module. It's a material resource management. So yeah, so as we already know about Content Hub, but MRM module is a lesser talked module of Content Hub, where the Content Hub is mostly used for content marketing. So we have our assets. Then we already talked about the PCM module where we have the products aggregated.
Yeah.
And then we have this CMP module where you have all the content with respect to the product, the content that is to be pushed on the website. So we have all together. And all this content wouldn't be seamless without the project management. So
Right.
basically the MRM module focuses on the project management part of it.
On it. So then, okay, focused on project management part of it, I think is a good from a definition standpoint. But why do I actually have or why do I actually utilize MRM module? Like, can you help us, with its features and how it can be utilized in an actual execution of a project?
Yeah, so I would like to explain it with an example.
Sure.
So as you know that we have a festive season coming in,
Yeah.
and it is already kicked off in India.
Yeah.
So let's take an example of an clothing clothing industry.
Yeah.
Clothes brand. They want to launch products for this this festival industry. So
Sure.
they have this product range ready. So
Right.
basically for promoting the brand, what you would require is to collect all the assets of the product. Then you would need the content around it. So you
Correct.
have a fixed timeline, you have a fixed budget to promote it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so all this wouldn't be possible without a streamlined process for promoting it. So you would not be able to track the progress and what the budget is going on and who is assigned with what tasks. So the MRM module will help with all of these activities that go in promoting.
Sure, but let's say I because you talked of content which needs to be, let's say, marketed on in this festive season. Let's say I have because I know what new brand is I'm launching. I already have a DAM and a PCM, so I'm having the products, I'm having the assets available in my DAM. How does it come together with MRM?
So yeah, so they are all linked with the MRM module. So whatever assets you have in DAM, you can pull it under the project. Whenever you let me start with whenever you access the project MRM module, you have this project tab where you can define your project with promoting a brand for a new product for a new line of product. So there you can have as you can add all your assets that are already pre-existing in DAM. So they are associated with the project. Or what you can do is you can also create new assets that are specific to the project that are not already in the system, And then let's come to the content. You can reuse the content that has already been used. You can, in case if it is not up to the mark for your brand, for the purpose, so you can recreate it or change it, or otherwise you can provide an overview of what content needs to be generated, and it would follow the content the CMP workflow for creation of the content.
Okay. All right. So I have assets in DAM. I have my content in PCM. I'll use the CMP module to move it from both those locations into MRM.
No, the assets would come from the DAM module, and the content would come from the CMP module. And in case if you want to generate a new content, an entity is created in the MRM module, and it would follow the workflow of the CMP module. So like all the content which is specific to this project will come into one place, and it would help the marketing manager in monitoring easily. Like, okay, so these are the assets that are going in, and in case if it is something is missing, so he'll have a bird's eye view of the project, so
Sure.
nothing can go wrong.
All right. Now we had also discussed about entities in the PCM module. So is there any link between the entities of PCM and the entities of MRM?
Specifically, no. We don't have any link for the PCM and the MRM module for now. But yes, we don't have any direct link. But yes, we can use them. It is not available out of the box, because specifically, as you can see, for promoting a brand, you would just have a campaign, and it wouldn't be specifically on selling a product, and it would be creating a brand awareness on the assets and the product.
All right. Let's say I'm having a new campaign, and I'm having my assets in DAM. I'm also having my products in PCM, and I am having a MRM project.
Right. Yes.
It will also be a project in MRM. So in that case, when I'm having that MRM project and I'm using these two, and then of course I want to schedule it. It's not a campaign which is going to start right away. It is something which is going to go on. So my team is working on multiple things. Okay, I have some members who are working on the asset creation. I have some members who are working from a marketing standpoint in the PCM module, and of course then some of them would be from the marketing and digital agency standpoint who will be working on the MRM. How all these three can come together so that my product is ready for campaigns?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So let's come to the tasks tab that we have under the projects. So where you can assign each task to a member or group of members, so that they can collectively do it. So in that way, you will have the broader visibility on who's doing what tasks. So like under the content tab, which is under the project module, under the project feature, you can create all your tasks that needs to be done, and then you come to the tasks tab, where you can assign it to each member or a group of members.
All right. So in that case, the reason I'm asking you this question is because if mainly MRM is for mainly kind of project management and making sure that this goes at a particular point, or kind of planning it well, there are going to be tasks which are going to be having some prerequisites. As an example, if I need to launch a campaign, I need to make sure assets are ready, or I need to make sure the product is ready in the PCM. So in these cases, is there any conditions which we can apply between those tasks, like this is a prerequisite for this to do, something like that?
Yes, definitely. This is also covered. Like as you know, that Content Hub has everything, like whatever is required in real time, so it is all covered. Yes, we have this interdependencies, so that this would be a prerequisite for this task. This could be defined when you're defining the tasks, and then along with it, the priority would also be assigned. Like if it is a high priority task, so that the users will have the back of the mind that this task needs to be completed, so that for a smooth flow of the project, and the progress is not hampered.
All right. When I'm creating these things, it is quite possible that I need multiple level of checks or multiple level of approvals before we go ahead with any such campaign on a digital platform. Is there any way in which kind of a workflow can be set, or kind of a confirmation from somebody from a leadership team can be set before the campaigns go live?
Yes, so we always have these workflows are already part of Content Hub, we can use the out-of-the-box workflows that are already available. And in case if you have a requirement that an additional workflow needs to be another state needs to be added, yes, that can also be done. So it is all we have enough features out of the box, but in case if the client requires something additional, yes, so it is always customizable.
All right. So it's kind of a configurable workflow that is available in the system.
Yes.
All right. Well, in case now let's talk of a perspective. Like, I as a customer, I'm not sure which modules of Sitecore Content Hub will I require. So can you help us from that perspective? Like, when I'm looking at see, DAM is generally what a customer goes ahead with, but then we have many other modules available in Content Hub. How does or where does MRM actually fit in?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So basically, the Content Hub has 4 modules. So, and we have 2 licensing policies where under the Content Hub DAM, we have DAM and PCM that is clubbed as one under one license, and then over that we have this CMP and MRM that is clubbed under Content Hub operations licensing. So the DAM and the PCM would come as a basic version. And in case if you want to extend your functionalities for Content Hub, you can come up with MRM and the CMP module under Content Hub operations.
Right. Is it possible that I only take the operations module and don't take the Content Hub?
Yeah, there is a possibility, but
not much use.
Yeah, what would be the purpose in case if you don't have the assets supporting your content?
Correct. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I mean, possible, but not really useful.
That wouldn't create the impact that is required. Like,
absolutely.
Even when you browse a website or see a newspaper, the first thing catches your mind is the image,
the media,
and that creates the hype, the interest on the content.
All right. Well, in general, when we talk of campaigns or marketing projects from a digital platform, one of the biggest concerns that I have seen, like even with other marketing areas, is about budget management, wherein it becomes very difficult for a user. Like, if I really give an example of Azure portal, right? Azure portal, Microsoft Azure portal gives a very nice UI wherein they inform on the user about tentatively what will be the cost that will be incurred. Is any such facility available in MRM?
Yes, we have this budget tab that is available where you can enter the budget what you have been allocated for this campaign or this project, and then you can take up the activities and how the cost is going on. So it will give you a brief comparison between what were the estimated cost and what are the actuals. That would be a little manual process because these are a small campaign projects, so it wouldn't require an automation. But yes, it would give you a brief overview, like where you're standing on a particular day.
Right. So in such cases, what can happen is, let's say I was given $500,000 and kind of a maybe 6 weeks of time to do some marketing activity, but at the end of maybe 4 weeks I'm only able to consume half. Maybe I can do more activities to consume the budget that I am assigned.
Yes, you can do it, and it also has the feature or reporting features where you can view the transactional details in the form of a financial format with the debit and credit. And then we have the chart options as well to give you a brief overview of various activities that are going on. So it is not that you have only a full budget. You can also create sub items where you can divide your campaigning activities into 10 different things, and you can always compare them as well.
Right. So it's quite possible that you have kind of overseeded something in one channel, but somewhere else you have not done enough. Probably that is a good comparison to.
Yeah, so it gives you it depends on you if you want a bird's eye view or more granular view of your budget. So that would help it. So it is all what the user needs.
All right. Well, what else? I mean, these are a few things which are in my mind. What else do you think would interest our users or Sitecore community to know more about MRM?
Yeah, sure. So the other under the projects tab, we have this four tabs. The first one is the content, where you curate all your content. Under the task tab, you assign it to the various users, and then under the budget tab, you have your budget, and the fourth one is the resources, which activity has been already assigned to your users. There might be a point where you have already your task assigned, but there are few more tasks and you're not sure like whom to assign the task under the project. Like if somebody has the availability, because nobody wants to be overwhelmed with the work.
Right.
So, and that would also impact their productivity. So the resources tab will give you an opportunity to view which user has been assigned with what task, and what is the tentative timeline they are supposed to do it. So in case if some user has an low priority task, he can be assigned with another task.
So is it like, can I compare it with something which we already have available in, say, Jira?
Yes.
Kind of capacity planning?
Yes, you can compare it with that. But yeah, this is a smaller project, and all the dependencies are within Content Hub. So even this can be handled over here, rather than going out of Content Hub and looking in and filling all the details in a different software, or a different
it all
application.
Can be managed here.
Yeah, so it will just make your work double.
Yeah. Well, let's do one thing. From an implementation standpoint, I think you already took up a topic of a clothing brand or a clothing manufacturer or company launching a new brand during festive season. Let's take this as an example, and let's connect the different parts of DAM, PCM, bring them into MRM, and what all activities would be required to get it out. Let's just discuss it out in detail.
Yeah, sure. So the marketing manager is being assigned, they have this new product line. So
let's say they are launching new shirts.
Yeah, launching a new shirt. So there would be different types of shirts. Some would be casual, some would be formal. There are different types of shirts. So what the marketing manager can do is just go through the DAM, like what assets are already available. They can use the faceted search, and they can have a brief understanding like what all the models that are available in the particular brand are still available in there.
Yeah.
So he'll get a brief idea. Then he'll go to the CMP module. He'll look into it, like what content is available. Is it of any relevance? Like it could be used directly, or it would require a minimum tweaks so that the content can be used, or like it's of no use and I would require all new content. So now he'll come to the
this decision whether I can reuse already existing content, whether I need tweaks to the content, or whether I need to create a new content. Can this activity be managed in MRM?
Yes, it can be managed in MRM. Yes,
because you mentioned about tasks. I could create some tasks based on looking at that.
Yes, like as I mentioned, like under the contents tab, you have all these options where you can add the existing content to your system. So the marketing manager can directly come to the MRM module. He can create the project that I am promoting this XYZ brand. Okay, so now he'll look into it. So these are the he'll look into the assets that are already existing, and if they are matching, okay, he'll import them into the interface where he can see for the content that is already available for the project. Then he can look at the content that is available, like the blogs, the email newsletters or something. And in case if it is not, then he can just create a new task, and then he can come up to the task tab.
Right. All right, let's say the assets is done. So kind of we can say the utilization or help that we required from DAM is complete. Now let's say because it's a new product line or a new brand for shirts, I will require some products.
Yes.
Yeah, so they will be in PCM.
Yes.
So how can that be done and connected with MRM? Let's say shirts. So how can a marketing manager start off?
Yeah, so that would involve admin task to be done. So where you establish a relationship between the MRM module and the PCM module. So which is not basically defined out of the box. So
Okay.
you would require the relationship defined between both the entities, and then the products would also be available to be added under the project.
Sure. Who can do that for you, like from a configuration standpoint, relationship defining?
Like on the first time when it is being implemented, that could be done by a Content Hub admin. So
Right.
he who knows the in and out architecture of Content Hub.
So
he
technically,
can-
like I'm going ahead, I'm buying Content Hub licenses from Sitecore, and then of course I'm going to have an implementation partner. Any administrator of Content Hub can help me do that.
yes, yeah, he can help you do that. And like going further, if the clients required, they can be also trained on doing so.
Okay. Yeah.
So in case if they have new custom entities, for example, like you have products for only products that have information about the product, but you would have a CSR initiative that is associated with this brand.
Right.
So that would require an altogether a different architecture of the entity.
Yep.
So you would define a new custom entity, and you can link it with your project module. So this is a random example, but
Correct.
yes, so that would be an requirement. So in case if you are aware of it, you can do it by yourself.
Right. All right. So then now I have DAM and I have all the products created in PCM. What should be the next step?
Next step would be going back to the MRM module. Like you'll pull up all the information into the project content, so that all your information is readily available
At one place.
yes, at one place. So that would give you the clarity, and that would give you a picture if anything is missing, so that you can act on it before starting up. And like another point that I missed out mentioning is the jobs feature under the MRM module. So these are certain tasks, like you are promoting a brand for once, but again you have this winter wear. Like there are certain standard products that are to be promoted
On a regular basis.
on regular
seasonal,
basis, seasonal
yeah.
basis. So certain tasks that are repetitive and that doesn't require much monitoring and interference. Yeah, so you can define a job that has a standard workflow, and it can be just triggered, so it will follow its own process.
Well, let's say, so that actually brings me to a very good point, wherein like I mean the brand is not launching anything new. They might be utilizing the already created campaigns and just getting them out there to have more sales or revenue.
Yes, that would answer the question. And to add to it, like I have another point, like if you have a certain you have defined a project for your existing festive season. So if you have a different campaign for something like the World Cup is coming and you want to promote something else.
Yeah.
So in that case, you can use the template and all the features that you have defined for your earlier project. It can be reused over here as a template. So you
Okay.
don't have to create everything from
Recreate
scratch.
everything, yeah.
So it helps in reusability from content's perspective, from the assets perspective, and from the template perspective, saving your time.
Absolutely. Well, I think it has generated a lot of interest in me to just go ahead and explore MRM with the horizontal licenses. We generally have these sandboxes to work with. So after today's episode, I'm definitely going to look at Sitecore Content Hub MRM.
Yeah, it is also it is interesting, and unless and until you explore by yourself, you wouldn't know the worth of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in that case, Girish, thank you again for your time, and thank you for sharing your knowledge on MRM with all of us and the Sitecore community. That was Girish for us, and yeah, I just wanted to also thank Alok and Harsh for making this episode a reality. Cheers.